All right, guys, the end of Oak Street movie review. I saw the movie last night, the new dinosaur movie starring Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. I was really excited for this. I love dinosaur movies in general. Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies ever. But we've gotten a bunch of duds since the original Jurassic Park, to be honest. It's always they always make a lot of money. We always go and see them, but they really haven't been that good. I would say the first Chris Pratt movie, in my opinion, is definitely like the second best one, but the rest of them are very mediocre. And it's honestly very rare to get a dinosaur movie outside of the Jurassic franchise. I honestly can't remember the last one we've gotten. Maybe a Netflix movie I haven't seen, but definitely not like a big budget like movie in theaters that I can remember. And so I was excited for this. This movie just doesn't 100% land for me. It's definitely entertaining. It's definitely not a bad movie. I really enjoy that it was 90 minutes. If this was like 2 hours, 220, I think this movie really, really struggles. But I guess getting into the movie, this movie, the problem for me was that it's incredibly disjointed. I don't know if I was supposed to be laughing, if I was supposed to be scared, if it was supposed to be campy, if I was supposed to just be enjoying the dinosaurs. It was just very disjointed. It was like 20% dinosaur movie, 20% horror, 20% sci-fi, 20% camp and comedy. So it kind of was like a mixed bag. Anne Hathaway was really good. Ewan McGregor gave an interesting performance. I thought his accent was absolutely awful. I think one of the contenders for worst accents of the year is Ewan McGregor in this movie. Just really, really bad American accent. And I think I noticed it more because Pattinson and Tom Holland had just done American accents in The Odyssey, which sounds weird to say, but those American accents were actually pretty good, and this one really, really sticks out. I mean, his natural voice is just coming through. His natural, like, Irish voice is just kind of piercing through his American accent. But not really a big deal. I don't really care. It's a dinosaur movie. When I say disjointed, Anna Hathaway is doing a really good job acting in this movie, but it's almost like, I don't want to say too dramatic because it's obviously like heavy stakes with dinosaurs and life and death, but she's just giving a way heavier performance than a lot of other people in this movie. There's a lot of just plot points that I don't think are explored either in this movie. So I guess getting into spoilers, their kind of block, Oak Street, or like surrounding areas, transported into prehistoric times, and they're kind of like siphoned off, so they can't really escape. There's like forest all around them, so they're kind of trapped there. And they're trying to like, there are all these plot points in the movie, like the son is getting bullied by someone, and this kid like never shows up again. There's like a neighbor they're fighting with. There's Anne Hathaway's like a writer, and so there's these scenes where she's writing and stuff. But the movie just isn't long enough at 90 minutes to get into these plot points and develop characters. They should have just leaned in on making it as entertaining as possible. Beginning of the movie is interesting because it's like an 80s family movie, and for a second I'm like, this has the bones of a movie, even if they didn't have any dinosaurs in it and kind of went down its own path. And I always find that interesting when there's like a movie within a movie. And then they decide to take it in another direction. The dinosaurs in this movie look good. Definitely the CGI wasn't bad. There were some times where you can tell the actors were just kind of looking in the distance, and then afterwards the dinosaur was added, obviously in post-production, which obviously there aren't real dinosaurs. But I think Jurassic Park franchise maybe did a better job of making you feel like the person is actually surrounded by dinosaurs in like a 360-degree way. And in this movie, a lot of it is kind of like, I don't want to say 2D, but it's just like the person's looking and then it cuts to the dinosaur and it cuts back to the person. And I don't think it's as immersive. But overall, the dinosaurs I think look good. I want to say maybe a little bit more realistic. They had feathered dinosaurs, and I know that's been some discussion how dinosaurs have really looked in the past. Maybe they looked more like birds. There was a T-Rex scene, and I think the T-Rex looked good. I think the T-Rex scenes were pretty comparable to Jurassic Park. I mean, they don't make the T-Rex the main character like Jurassic Park, so it's a little bit different. But there was one particular death with the T-Rex, which, in my opinion, was one of the funniest deaths I've ever seen in a dinosaur movie. And I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't supposed to be funny at all. And I think it came off as really, really funny. And this is what I'm talking about. Is then they switch off into characters like hysterically crying, and I'm like, is this supposed to be campy or supposed to be dramatic? I really don't know. So I don't want to spoil that one, but it was very funny in my opinion. Reminded me somewhat of like the lawyer in Jurassic Park when he's going to the bathroom in that hut and dies, but that was even supposed to be a little bit humorous. This one I think just came off as funny. It wasn't supposed to be. So yeah, I mean, this movie overall, if you're into dinosaur movies, I would definitely see it in theaters. It's a fun movie. One of the interesting things, though, is also when it comes to this movie is what companies decide to release in theaters and release on streaming, because there's so many movies that aren't bad, but they're just wrongly released in theaters or wrongly placed on streaming, and vice versa. I think this movie is an example. Now, I'm very pro movie theater, but I think when you go to the movie theater and spend money, you're much harsher and much more critical of the movie. If so, I think this movie will be judged a little bit more harshly. This is like the perfect movie to put on streaming. This is like the type of movies that Netflix should make. And I wonder if like these scripts come across Netflix desk and maybe they pass on them, but I don't know why Netflix doesn't make more movies like this. Not just them, I use them as an example, but really any streaming service, because I think this movie on streaming, it's 90 minutes, it's entertaining. This is kind of the perfect movie, to watch like in the middle of the week. And I don't know how many people are going to go see it. I am a little bit interested though, because the budget of this movie is 85 million as well, and I think those are the kind of budgets that we need to start seeing more of, not $200 million, 50 million, 60 million, 85 million. So it'll be interesting to see if this movie makes money. I think it'll maybe get around there. I think it opened to 20, 30 million, so I think maybe it'll get to, I think it'll eclipse 85 million, maybe get to 100, but I don't think this will make a ton of money. But although this will have legs on streaming, I think this is the type of movie that will be released on streaming, and a lot of people will be talking about it on Twitter maybe in a few months from now. So that's my review of End of Oak Street. I thought it was a pretty solid movie. I'll get into spoilers eventually. But thanks, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think of this one. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.